there are many youth out there who might not really be sure of, who might want to be successful in their respective careers or fields, but who really don't know how to get there. What would you say to them?
For the youth in the exact current climate of Sri Lanka right now, I think it's to be optimistic. We as a company, we are incredibly optimistic about where our future lies in Sri Lanka. Obviously, the next 6 to 10 months, even maybe 12 months, is going to be difficult. But don't think of, when you're especially going down your entrepreneurial journey, you don't think about 12 months from now. Think about 5 years from now. And in whatever journey you go down your entrepreneurial journey, nothing is going to, very smoothly work over 5 years. You're going to have moments where things are going to be difficult. There are going to be moments where things are challenging. Now, we really believe at Daras that challenging periods is the best time to be critical about your business.
Welcome everyone, you're watching another episode of Conversations with Alanki. In this episode, I'll be joined by someone I consider to be a trailblazer. He's the Managing Director of Daras, Sri Lanka's largest e-commerce platform. He's also the co-founder of Coco and a Goodwill Ambassador of Habitat for Humanity. Today, I'll be joined in Conversations with Alanki by none other than Rakhil Fernando. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being a part of this conversation. I thought the focus of this conversation would be about leadership and the role you've played at Daras. But would you like to tell us how you became affiliated with Daras? You became the Managing Director of Daras in 2019.
Yes.
Yes.
So at the time I was living in Singapore with my wife. And we always hoped and planned that when we had kids, we were going to come back to Sri Lanka. So I guess she got pregnant in 2018. And I was really not sure what I was going to come back to Sri Lanka and do. I really didn't have any plans. I was wondering whether I would start something of my own. And then randomly, I saw Daraz LinkedIn ad for a managing director in Sri Lanka. And I didn't even know what Daraz was at the time. I haven't lived in Sri Lanka for a long time, so didn't really know the e-commerce landscape in Sri Lanka at all. And then at the same time, a friend of mine also got in touch with me, asking me, I heard this company is looking for a managing director. Are you keen to throw your hat in? And I did. I applied online, but I also, put in a word saying I'm interested. And then I met the company CEO in Singapore because our headquarters is actually in Singapore. And 4 or 5 months later, I was in Sri Lanka.
And how has the company advanced under your leadership?
So we've grown a lot in the last 3 years. I think, Daraz, when I joined, was the foundation was strong, and the team that brought it up to that stage really built a company that could really support aggressive, rapid growth. So I think my role and my mandate when I came was to see how quickly we can grow the business in the most healthiest way, and also grow the brand in the markets. And last 3 years has been incredible. I think we had about 200% year-on-year growth. The team has grown from, I think, 500 people when I joined. Now it's about 1,800 people. And, the brand itself, I think, has grown significantly over the last 3 years as well. I think from being a niche player where there was a lot of local competition as well at that stage, to now being really the only primary direct e-commerce marketplace in Sri Lanka. And I think the brand itself, our goal is to get it out there, get people to know about it, get people to get comfortable with it. And I think we've done a good job. I think from sponsoring the cricket to, having our brand out there at events and all our social media activities and initiatives as well. I think we're really happy where we are at the moment.
And it is also very important that you empower those who are involved with Daras. So, Daras has empowered local communities, providing opportunities for connecting sellers and consumers.
Yeah.
How exactly do you add value to those involved?
So, that's really our, let's say, primary purpose for being. We are a value addition service. We are a platform that simply connects, like you said, the buyers and the sellers. Now, for us, that's an incredibly important role. We're not. A lot of people also perceive Daraz incorrectly to think that we're here to steal market share from brands or businesses, and that's not who we want to be. We want to be an enabler. We want anybody who has the ambition to sell online, whether you're a tiny entrepreneur somewhere in the far-flung areas of Sri Lanka, or a big brand or big conglomerate in Colombo.
So it's not just the established sellers.
Not at all. So anyone who wants to sell online, our platform, our technology, our delivery services are available to you at incredibly easy technology to understand. And somebody can start selling online in a day or two. It's a very simple process. So for us, we really see ourselves as enabling. There are about 300,000 SMEs in this country. We have about 80,000 now brands, whether it's SMEs or big corporates who are on the platform. And we look at ourselves as simply a tool for them to grow their sales, grow their visibility, and become a far more efficient business as well. Now, if you want to sell to somebody, if you're in a business in Colombo and you want to sell somebody in Jaffna, or if you're a seller in Gaul who wants to sell to somebody in Colombo, you don't need to move your business here. You don't need to set up sales teams here. You don't need to send salespeople there or set up branches there. We do it all for you, correct? And that's how we want people to understand what we do. And that's how we want to support growth of the SME sector and entrepreneurs in Sri Lanka as well.
And how has this impacted communities in Sri Lanka?
I think, we've we are very proud of what we've done. Especially COVID, I think it was a great time, not a great time, but a time where we really were able to support society in Sri Lanka. You had people who were really, let's say, disconnected. People who are living in Batticaloa, people who were living in really far distant places, who simply because there were curfews, people couldn't transport goods. We were there, we were live, we were active, we were operating, and we really showed people the power of e-commerce. We also, I think one of the great things is we allowed people who couldn't operate their business because of curfews to still sell.
Right.
Correct? So we really helped the seller continue to earn a living, continue to support their families, continue to support their employees. But we also help support the individuals out there, the communities out there who are completely disconnected because they couldn't leave their homes to still, live some semblance of a normal life. So we really see, and we're very proud actually of what we have achieved and what we're doing in this community to really both enable people to grow their business, but also to enable society, individuals to have access to more products, to large assortment. Simply because you live far away doesn't mean you need to come all the way to Colombo to get yourself available to all this assortment here. It's now on the palm of your hand in your phone. And that really, I think, empowers people and really feels like anything is possible.
And what are the numbers like in Sri Lanka when it comes to e-commerce?
So e-commerce as a sector is still very, very small. I think it's currently overall retail in Sri Lanka, including car sales and everything, is about a $30 billion industry. E-commerce is about 1% of that, so $300 million, which is still very, very small. Daras has a market share of about 50%. So I think in e-commerce, we're large, but in all of retail, we are tiny. So there's so much more for us to grow, and there's so much opportunity for not just us, for anybody else who's interested in getting into e-commerce. The opportunity is huge in Sri Lanka.
Right, and you are the Managing Director of Daras, which is the largest e-commerce operator in the South Asian region. What do you envision for Daras?
So, for us, it's how do we really invest deeper into other categories? Right now, like I said, in all our markets, e-commerce is a very small percentage of retail. I think in every market we operate, it's about 1%. India right now is about 4%, 4%.
Right.
So for us to reach India levels, our business can grow 4 times. So I think for us, how do we educate more SMEs, educate more entrepreneurs, educate the convenience to to buyers as well about e-commerce, the convenience of it. And that's what we really hope. We want really Daraz to be a platform, a destination for entertainment, for your general lifestyle needs. Anything that you shouldn't be wasting your time on, Daraz should be there to help you do that, correct? Why waste time going in a bus or commuting to a supermarket, wasting an hour, 2 hours every day, every week of your life, when you can simply do it sitting on your couch at home in 15 minutes. And that's the kind of convenience we want to offer people. Then on top of that, we want to be a destination for entertainment. We've invested more into live streaming. We'll be investing heavily more into that, into more original content. We want to get into gaming. We want to go into more live sports streaming as well. So right now, during the World Cups, I think the Asia Cup is going on right now, and we have the exclusive rights to stream that in Pakistan, for example. We're going to have similar rights for the World Cup as well. So it's going to be an app that's more of a destination. There'll be more services, more features offered in the app as well. We've had to delay a fair bit of things due to COVID. For example, COVID and the current economic situation. Like this year, we were going to go big into food delivery, for example. Similar to what the other food delivery platforms have there, because we already have the fleets, we already have the logistic infrastructure to support that. But we decided to push that to next year. So, with those services, you have restaurants who will come on board, you have other, service providers that aren't available on the platform, to make the ecosystem far richer, far more engaging, far more exciting for our customers. And that's what we want to be. I mean, the term is a cliche, but a super app is what we would like to be, where we, tick the boxes for anything you want to do. If it's digitally possible, we want to be able to enable that.
So it has to be like a go-to place for anything and everything.
So financial services is one area that we're really investing in right now, correct? You mentioned Coco, which provides instant consumer credit. Let's say you didn't have a credit card, which is 80% of this country. You can go to Coco in 2 minutes. You have credit. You can buy something on interest-free installments at over 1,500 merchants. Now we'll be launching it on Daraz soon as well. So like that, we'll be offering more financial services through the platform. SME credit is another area. We're launching our co-branded credit card. So those are the kind of lifestyle, entertainment, engagement-based features and products that will be coming up in a very short period of time as well.
All right, moving on to the next question. You've been providing leadership to a large team at a relatively young age. What has leadership taught you?
Patience. I think it's this is by far the largest team I've ever managed. It's a very young team. Our average age is 26 years old. A lot of them, this is their first job. So people who coming through the doors with incredibly intelligent, incredibly skilled, but sometimes quite inexperienced. So it's our duty as a company to really provide an environment for them that allows them to grow, not just as employees, but as individuals, because this will be the first job of many jobs they most likely will do in their lives. So, we want to make sure that if somebody who comes through the doors of Daraz and one day leaves as a better employee, a better person, a more matured person, and just a simply a more valued contributor to society. So it's a big responsibility for us. I think we really see ourselves as some company that is a custodian of a very young workforce that, wants to make people ready for whatever they are in their journey going forward. So we consider the big responsibility, and we really invest in that, helping us, our employees improve their skills. And I'm not just talking executive level. If our delivery riders want to get skilled up to do something different after they do that job for 3 years, whether at Daraz or somewhere else, we are helping them get trained up, skilled up. Because we always want more for our employees. We don't expect people to do the same thing for the rest of their lives. And for them to be able to aspire to do more, we have to enable that for them as well.
And what was life like before Daraz? What sort of experiences have you had in terms of your career?
So I've had a very broad career journey. I've been in banking, I've been in advertising, I've been in venture capital, I've been in startups, I've been in innovation. at huge companies and very small companies
And you
as well.
studied aerospace engineering.
Yeah, and my education is very different to what I've ever worked in.
Mhm.
So for me, I really, I took the opportunity of my first 10 years of my life to really try everything and anything.
Mhm.
Whatever piqued my interest, my goal was I want to work at the best place and learn the most in for what that role entails. And I've been lucky that I've been being able to be working in companies and working with people who've really given me incredible breadth of experience that I really valued and really also prepared me for what I'm doing right now.
And how do you keep everyone in your team motivated? I think it's very important when you're a leader and you're leading your team that you keep them inspired.
Yeah, I think it's a balance, correct? I think, for us, our employees need to know that we're behind them and they have the resources and they have the commitment of the management that we really believe in the goal and the objectives of what the business wants to achieve.
Mhm.
And they need to know that if we set a plan, they have the resources and they have the backing from us to achieve that. And that is what we really feel motivates them the most, because they know that if we want to go after it, they have the support structure to achieve that. Now, but that's not saying that we need to be blindly, uh, unrealistic of the challenges ahead, or unrealistic of the business that it is right now. We really are very critical as a company. We look at our numbers every day, our performance every day, and that's hundreds of different KPIs on how small parts of the business are doing. And how one day is better or worse than the day before. And we critically look at that and discuss that every day to make sure that those mistakes don't happen today and make sure tomorrow it's a better day.
And do you think your upbringing has shaped you and influenced you? Because both your parents, Ramani and Rakhil Fernando, are very successful in their respective fields.
Yeah, I think because both my parents have non-traditional careers, meaning my mother is an entrepreneur, my father was in sports, and then involved in his own business as well. I think they wanted a more, let's say, steady working life for me. And I think Daraz is a good match, good balance for me, in the sense that it is a professional environment, but also a very entrepreneurial environment, which I love. I don't like to be stagnant. I want to be in an industry that we can, really always look at growing, look at finding where the opportunity is, not just in the business we're operating, but other opportunities as well around the business or complementary to the business. So I think Daraz is a good balance for me to really enjoy what I'm doing and really, I guess, tap into what I think I'm good at. But I think indirectly, I think with my parents, it's they allow for a higher tolerance of risk taking than seeing what the lives they lived. I don't think they intentionally, let's say, taught me that, but I think through watching their lives and what they did, it allows me to also be calibrated for higher risk taking than I think what most people are comfortable with.
All right. And how do you unwind after a long day at work?
I think it's good. I mean, for me, I do watch a lot of TV.
Right.
I get myself into a fair bit of series and documentaries and movies. So, I mean, for me, that kind of entertainment is incredibly soothing and distracting. So, that really I enjoyed. I'm a big movie buff and a TV buff, and that really distracts me and allows me to disconnect and wind
And
down.
how do you balance work and life?
I try not to take work home, in the sense that I'm not the kind of person who comes home and complains about work and complains about how difficult the day was. And for me, it's nothing is ever that difficult to be. I mean, I'm in a fortunate position for sure that we are a large corporation and large number of workforces, and it allows us to really delegate and operate the business in an efficient way. So it allows also me to really focus on big picture, more strategic initiatives than also some of the sort of day-to-day operational stuff, because I also have a great team who work with me, who really take a lot of weight on my shoulders, when it comes to the day-to-day operations of the business.
All right. And moving on to the final question. What message would you like to give to those watching this episode right now, especially the youth? There are many youth out there who might not really be sure of, who might want to be successful in their respective careers or fields, but who really don't know how to get there. What would you say to them?
I think it's a couple of messages, correct? I think for the youth in the exact current climate of Sri Lanka right now, I think it's to be optimistic. We as a company, we are incredibly optimistic about where our future lies in Sri Lanka. Obviously, the next 6 to 10 months, even maybe 12 months, is going to be difficult. But don't think of, when you're especially going down your entrepreneurial journey, you don't think about 12 months from now. Think about 5 years from now. And in whatever journey you go down your entrepreneurial journey, nothing is going to, very smoothly work over 5 years. You're going to have moments where things are going to be difficult. There are going to be moments where things are challenging. Now, we really believe at Daras that challenging periods is the best time to be critical about your business. When things are going great, when growth is coming easy, you are very critical about your business because you're so focused on supporting that growth that you don't sometimes focus on the foundation. And we have taken a step back this year and said, listen, let's not think about growth. Let's not think about top line sales. Let's think about we currently have about 3 million people who visit our platform every month. We have, on average, over the last 12 months, we have had about 9 million Sri Lankans come on the Daras platform. 9 million customers means everyone pretty much who had a smartphone in Sri Lanka has visited Daras. That is a huge base.
That's very
correct?
Impressive.
So the way we see it is, we don't need to find more customers at the moment. We have a healthy customer base. How do we serve them better? How do we improve the platform for them? How do we improve our service levels for them? And let's focus on that this year. For every time in what's going on in the market, there's the right strategy to sort of evolve your business into. And we see that now as a time to really focus on efficiency, focus on service levels, focus on how do we make sure the business is, continuously profitable, and really drive the long-term health of the business.
Right. I did say it was the final question,
Sure.
but we forgot to talk about something very important. You are an ambassador for Habitat for Humanity. Tell us about this. I mean, it must be very fulfilling.
Yeah, I mean, it unfortunately, I took on the role just before COVID. And during the 2 years of COVID, it was very hard to raise money. It was very hard to build houses so everything came on hold. And now, again, it's a very difficult time for NGOs who are trying to raise money, simply because, everyone's finding it difficult.
Right.
Companies are finding it difficult. So donations are getting rarer and rarer. But it's something I really, really believe in. I really believe that, countries like ours really get to the next level when the basic standards of living are universal among the population. And that is, something we really need to look at in Sri Lanka as well. People don't realize that Sri Lanka has a large base of people who don't have basic homes, or don't have basic facilities in their homes. And Habitat for Humanity is doing a great job in Sri Lanka over the last many years. But I think more and more attention needs to be brought to what they're doing, and ideally more funding as well.
Right. This was indeed a really nice conversation. Thank you for being a part of it.
Thanks for having me.
We are not done yet.
Okay.
We have come to the end of the conversation, but do stay tuned for the rapid fire round. Movies or books?
Movies.
Favorite movie?
Oh, favorite movie, Star Wars.
Do you read?
Not as often as I should.
Favorite food?
Chinese.
Favorite travel destination in Sri Lanka?
Ooh, Goal.
Favorite country apart from Sri Lanka?
England.
Favorite color?
Blue.
3 words that define you.
Optimistic. Carefree. Risk taker. That's 2 words. But
The best advice you've received.
the best advice I've received. I had some good ones, but nothing's popping into my head.
Well, it can be anything.
The best advice I have read is, actually no. I mean, the best advice I've received is probably live every day like it's your last.
Role model in life,
Parents,
hobbies,
movies.
favorite quote, or one of your favorite quotes.
I would say go back to live every day like it's your last.
What makes you the happiest?
My wife and kids.
We have come to the end of this episode. Do stay tuned. I'll be back with another episode of Conversations with Alanki. Until then, stay safe, God bless, and take care. And don't forget to subscribe.